But it seems like, with all respect, I feel like that's what he wants to think. Do you know that he wants to think that they've always been here and they're spiritual things? And he might be right. But it is also possible that there's a life form that's so advanced that it can avoid detection anytime it wants, and then slowly trickles out little bits of information to us, whether it's a crashed vehicle or letting a vehicle be seen or hovering over Phoenix, do whatever it wants to do, and then fades away again. And then every decade or so, as human beings evolve, it introduces more and more to the landscape, which if you kind of looked at it on a graph, seems to be the case. And oddly seems to be the case that it's like primarily happening in the United States. Like if you look at the difference between the UFO sightings around the world and the UFO sightings in the United States, we're locked in. We're locked in.
I said this to you last time, I think. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah. When you
yeah.
asked me what do I think of aliens, I was like, I would find it a lot more credible if it wasn't all in North America.
But also, as an American, I have to say, it's probably because we're the shit. And if I was an alien, what am I going to do? Go to Czechoslovakia? Get the fuck out of here. I'm going to go check out San Francisco. Like, look at all the shit in the streets.
Right.
Look at all the needles. These people are crazy. I think there's probably both things going on. I think there's probably some sort of extra dimensional possibility that I think occurs during psychedelic drugs and during certain states of altered consciousness, that I have a feeling you're tuning into something that's not always available, but probably is always there. And then there's probably a physical element of things coming here from somewhere else, because we do that. It just seems so duh. Like, allegedly, we went to the moon, but we definitely sent rovers to Mars. We definitely send satellites into space to take incredible imagery of Jupiter. We definitely do all that. Why would we not think that another species would do that? Especially if they get to some position where they're using some unique, novel form of propulsion that manipulates gravity, and they don't even have to worry about G-forces. They just appear places, which seems to be like what they think these things are doing. Have you heard about that? There's a story about this Chinese scientist that was working on anti-gravity, and she came from China to the United States to work on anti-gravity, and she was working on some anti-gravity propulsion system and then vanished. Like, probably went back to China.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, probably went back to China. It's like, this is what they paid me to do.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who vanish in China. That's the thing, isn't
But
it?
I don't think she vanished. She vanished from the United States. I think she went back to China.
Oh, what, and took the secrets with her?
I think that's the worry, is that this... See if you can find that lady's name. It's a very interesting story. I was reading about it the other day, and I remembered, like, someone... You guys are perfect to talk about this. Because that would be the ultimate thing that you'd have to keep secret from another country. Because if you have espionage, if you have people that have infiltrated your universities, and they certainly do, and if you have people who have infiltrated your military contractors, and they certainly do, we do it. I'm sure they do.
Oh, they definitely do.
Yeah.
I mean, the southern border is the fact that it's as open as it is.
Yeah.
That's a lot of them are coming through there.
Of course.
Yeah.
But if you're making something that is some sort of a gravity propulsion system, and you've made a breakthrough, you're not going to put that on Wired.com. You're not going to broadcast that on CNN. You're not going to tell anybody that. Because if the other countries find out, if the other superpowers, if China and Russia find out that we have some sort of a gravity propulsion, everyone's going to die.
Yeah.
They're going to steal all the information.
Doesn't make sense still.
Solving the mystery of Huntsville's brilliant anti-gravity scientist. Dr. Ning Li's son talks about her mom's career and legacy, along with the internet's obsession with her disappearance. So, when did she disappear?
Let's see. She co-authored papers in '93.
Hold on, right there. Stop right there. Yep. In the late '90s, she claimed to have created anti-gravity devices that were fully functional, and this was big news in both scientific journals and mainstream press. In 1997, Dr. Li continued to expand on her concept and conduct more experiments. She published papers describing the anomalous weight changes in objects suspected over a rotating superconductor. To say her work referred to as taming gravity could change the world is an understatement. Taming gravity would drastically change the way we transport on every level. Humans could travel the world at ease, and we could finally get our hands on those sweet hoverboards from Back to the Future. So did she really do it? So what happened to her? In 99, Lee left UAH to start her own company, AC Gravity, and commercialize a device based on her theories. Oh, you fucked up, lady. Her colleagues obviously believed in her work. As a chair of UAH's physics department, Larry Smalley also departed the university to join her. Public records show that in 2001, the U.S. Department of Defense gave AC Gravity a grant for $448,970 to research the technology. However, these results were never published. In fact, Dr. Lee never published anything again.
Whoa. Wow.
And even though the business license for AC Gravity was updated yearly through 2018, there's no record of any further work done by the company. Lee's career after 2002 is a subject of great mystery. Barely Sociable's research turned up a document showing that she gave a presentation at the 2003 MITRE conference titled Measurability of AC Gravity Fields. The MITRE Corporation challenges federally funded research for manages federally funded research for several U.S. agencies. At the conference, she presented along with a Redstone Arsenal official from U.S. Army Aviation Missile Command, meaning that her research was still being conducted up to that point. So where did she take off? When did she disappear?
They think she went to China.
Yeah.
This kind of goes on. This is a bunch of they're not really sure. And then in 2021, so it was like 2 years ago.
Well, look at this though.
An obituary popped up.
An obituary
on a funeral home just outside of Birmingham, where she was, where she was, and it didn't say anything about her disappearance.
An obituary. Mm-hmm. They say how she died.
I don't know. Check it.
Was it water torture?
They usually don't say how on an obituary. See?
Wow. There she is.
She passed away peacefully.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a little sus.
There's more information about how she would have conducted her life.
But if you scroll back up, what I was going to read a little bit more, there's something about her, right there, a little bit higher, confirming her well-being that she was still working with the DOD, but was unable to talk about her work. So she's working with the Department of Defense. He also told Ventura that he was unable to get a working email address or phone number for her. Bro, they probably made a breakthrough, and that's probably what happens when you make a real breakthrough. They probably give you a very clear indication of how this is going to go from here on out. You're going to be completely isolated from the rest of the world. There's no way we can trust that you're going to tell anybody about this. We're going to have to fucking monitor everything you do, and just you stop publishing, you stop doing anything.
But here's the thing. Is that the wrong approach to take? Is that the wrong approach to take when somebody has created something that could be such a monumental tool, potentially a weapon, that an enemy or somebody you perceive to be an enemy could use it against you?
I don't think it's the wrong approach to take. I mean, I think especially if you're dealing with someone that came over here from China, it's like, where is she going? Like, keep an eye on that lady. If she really cracked it, and she cracked it with, what if she's sharing? That's the thing, is some of these drones that they're seeing, and that's what I've always assumed that a lot of these things are, especially the square within a sphere that seems to be, they keep finding. She's disappeared and gone back to China, said Safardi. She was working with NASA and the Redstone Arsenal, but she disappeared for several years now. The people at the Pentagon cannot reach her anymore. She's allegedly back in China, and the Chinese are pouring money into similar experiments now. Uh-oh. That's why our intelligence guys are very interested. The most likely people to develop the first anti-gravity propulsion technology are the Chinese.
That's reassuring.
Wow. That's crazy. That's a crazy statement. The most when someone says that publicly, go back to that. Sorry again, Jamie. The most likely people to develop the first anti-gravity propulsion technology are the Chinese. The fact that he's saying that, if you're saying that publicly, that means they're probably on it.
Yeah.
It's just a scientist, though.
I know.
Yeah.
But if that lady really did crack something and really was able to make things hover, God damn it.
And it was as far back as what, 93?
Mm-hmm. Well, 2004 was that big sighting, Commander David Fravor, when he found that thing that looked like a Tic Tac that was hovering over the water and disappeared at an insane rate of speed. They got video of this thing. Different fighter jets saw it. They said this thing just took off. Just no visual means of propulsion. There's no windows, no rockets, just gone. And there's video of it. There's video of this thing just moving at this insane rate of speed that would turn human bodies into jello. I think it's a drone. I think they probably had a few of those. I think they've been that's why they're always occurring around around military bases. Like San Diego's filled with military. It's all military out there. So if they're off the coast, off they're near the Nimitz, right? So there's fucking all sorts of tests and training things they're running out there. That's what they do. Of course, that's where they're going to train their fucking drones too. Of course, that's where we're gonna. If you've got some crazy high tech thing and you want to see how do the fighter jets see it? Like you fucking don't tell them, and you put it in the ocean, and then you say, "Go fly over there," and they fly over there, and they see this fucking thing that can go from 50,000 feet above sea level to 0 in like a second. Like, what are we watching?
Man, it's so crazy, some of the stuff that human beings are coming up with. I don't know if you know this, the Russians have a tsunami torpedo. Have you heard about this?
It starts tsunamis?
Yeah.
Oh,
What?
great.
It's a tsunami torpedo. Jamie, would you
So fun.
find
Bye, Malibu.
Say
bye.
It's basically a nuclear torpedo. It explodes underwater, causing a tsunami which can wash, half the United States off the...
Half the United States?
Well, if it hits the seaboard on both sides, yeah. I mean, it will be harder for them, obviously, from the east, but from the west.
Oh, my God.
You can wash off, all of California, just like...
Well, you could do that down here, too, then. You could do it in Texas. You could do it all over the country.
Right.
All over
What?
where the water is. Russian TV news agency... Oops. God damn it. Russian news agency TSS reported that Russia had produced the first set of nuclear-powered, very long-range, nuclear-armed torpedoes known as Poseidon. Strategic experts are warning that the Poseidon torpedoes would have the potential to devastate a coastal city, causing radioactive floods and result in millions of deaths. Oh, fuck, dude.
Wow.
Look at this. Haunted...
I knew you'd
Listen
like
to
this. I knew you'd like this, Joe.
News outlets have painted a hauntingly vivid picture of a towering 1,000-foot tall radioactive tsunami. I know you wrote tabloid. I know tabloid news. But is that possible? 1,000-foot tall radioactive tsunami violently crashing into British shores, pulverizing everything in its path and transforming the whole cities into barren, lifeless lands. Isn't the kind of power that they have now is how much more powerful are they than Fat Man and Little Boy? It's a lot, right?
Yeah. Orders of magnitude, I think.
Yeah.
The hydrogen bomb is way more powerful than the atomic bomb.
So if they have like some top of the food chain, best of what we've got today, nuclear weapon, and they detonate it into the ocean, what does that look like?
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen those tests they did when they blew up atomic bombs in the ocean. You get to see like how high the water goes into the sky.
The SAR bomb. This got declassified not too long ago.
Wow.
This is a Russian bomb that they have.
Did they drop that in the water? Is that water?
No, they're way up in the clouds there.
Oh my God! Look at that! Isn't it kind of ironic
it was
that the
1960.
thing that might kill us all looks like a mushroom?
But that's
The thing that might save us all, and the thing that might kill us
Mushrooms.
all. Imagine if that's what God's trying to tell us.
and that's
Like,
1961.
This is the only thing that's going to keep you from nuking each other.
Yeah.
Mushrooms.
Chow down, boys.
Imagine if God's trying to tell you that. Like through the most horrific thing that human beings can do,
Yeah.
the indiscriminate murder of hundreds of thousands of people instantaneously.
Yeah. Maybe that's what we need to do. We need to actually, basically, just before everybody gets to power, you're going to do a mushroom trip. You're going to connect to the
Yeah.
spirituality of the earth. You're going to connect with your fellow human beings. You're going to understand that we are all one, and then you're going to be allowed to do your job.
And then you're
gonna
going to
be
drop
like,
out of the race.
I don't want that job.
Or you give him to Biden,
Fuck
and he
this
dies.
shit. I have
Yeah.
to tell people what to think and what they can and can't do.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's certainly some strange battle that's going on right now that I don't think most people were aware was going to ever take place.
No.
I think that's part of what the problem is. What is this?
It's the video of it.
This is 1961 SAR bomb.
Yeah. Like, means the king bomb. King of all bombs.
I mean,
Bro, imagine being that guy in that plane going, I am getting cancer for sure. for sure. Do they even know they're getting cancer?
Probably not.
Probably not.
You know, it's going to wipe out who knows how many different species. I mean, it's going to kill everything. And even the people that are left over, what are you left with? Whatever 2 billion people that still survive, where and what? What do you have left? What is the environment like? Like, how polluted is everything? What kind of mutations are going to come from their offspring?
I get into that in the end of the book. So I write the book in essentially 3 acts, like the first 24 minutes, the next 24 minutes, the last 24 minutes, and then nuclear winter. So nuclear winter is very well described by a fellow called Professor Brian Toon, who I interview in the book. He was one of the original 5 authors of, do you remember the nuclear winter theory of our sort of high school years?
Yes.
Right? So that was, Carl Sagan was the lead author on the paper. Toon was the young student. And he's dedicated decades to looking at nuclear winter now. Originally, it was very paw-pawed by the Defense Department. It was said, this is Soviet propaganda, this is never going to happen. And the computer systems and climate modeling have changed to the degree where we can see not only is nuclear winter what was thought in the 80s, it's actually much worse. So whereby originally they thought there would be a year of ice sheets across large bodies of water from Iowa to Ukraine, across the mid-latitudes of the globe. Now that could be up to 7 or 10 years. So think about that much frozen land for that long. You have the death of agriculture. You have like you are talking about. You have the complete disruption of the ability for people to grow food and eat food. And so man reverts to his hunter-gatherer state. And this is all...
But hunting and gathering what? That's
well,
the
exactly.
real problem.
Well, exactly. And also you have, man has to go underground. I take you through what this is like in detail because it's so bizarre to think about that you have a man-made problem, nuclear weapons, and yet people are not paying attention to the fact that whatever is created by man essentially would theoretically have a man-made solution. Like there is a solution to the nuclear weapons threat. It's not, although the results of a nuclear war would be very much like an asteroid striking the United States or the world anywhere. There's a solution to nuclear war. There's a solution called disarmament. We have a total of 12,200 and some odd nuclear weapons.
And is the concern that if we did that, other countries would not do that? We would be defenseless?
Yeah. Absolutely. But, things happen in sort of inches and feet. They don't have to happen overnight. Once upon a time, there were 70,000 nuclear warheads in 1986.
Oh, so we're making progress.
We were making progress until this past year. And these treaties are all, at risk, and people are just very busy seeing everybody else as the enemy.
This past year specifically because of what?
Well, Putin's saying he's not going to be involved in the treaty anymore. Donald Trump said pulled us out of the treaty. So there's leaders are threatening. This is all on the table right now. It could and should be looked at. But do you remember back when we were in high school when Reagan and Gorbachev got together for the Reykjavik summit?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
That was the beginning of a movement toward disarmament. That was the beginning of this idea of, wait a minute, 70,000 nuclear weapons is just an accident waiting to happen. And so we are at 12,500 today because of that.
And we should also say that there have been some very close calls.
The Secretary General said last year or something, we are one misunderstanding, one miscommunication away from nuclear annihilation. He's not kidding.
There was this one incident where the Soviet Union thought that we were attacking them, and there was one guy who resisted launching a counterstrike, and that one guy prevented nuclear annihilation. One guy said, I think this is an error. This doesn't make sense. I'm not doing this. And that one guy saved us. I don't remember what the incident was. Like, what do you remember?
Yeah.
What was the exact issue?
So his name was Petrov, and it was in 1983. So what's even more remarkable about him is this was at a time of, absolute animosity, enmity between the two nations. It was a really precarious time in the world. And Petrov was in a early warning radar system, like outside of Moscow, that reads data of possible incoming nuclear missiles. And he saw what the radar screen, the radar scope was reading as 5 ICBMs coming from Wyoming. 5. He knew that we would send 1,000 missiles if we were going to launch. And so he questioned the data, which is just so remarkable in its own conception when you think about that. He questioned it, and he didn't send it up the chain of command as a missile attack.
So what was it?
Well, I get into this in the book, which is terrifying. So, okay, let me back up for a second of how good our technology is. So, we have a system in space, a satellite system called SBIRS, Space-Based Infrared Satellite System. It's like the Paul Revere of the 21st century. It is parked over our enemies that have nuclear weapons, and it can see and detect a nuclear launch of an ICBM in a fraction of a second, Joe. Confirmed fact. That's why nuclear war begins and ends in 72 minutes, because the SBIRS satellite system sees the launch, and then the U.S. Nuclear Command and Control goes begins. And by the way, an ICBM cannot be redirected, and it cannot be recalled.
What about these hypersonic weapons that can adjust their trajectory? They can move to different places. Like they look like it's going to Arizona and it goes to Chicago.
So ballistic missiles are hypersonic. So a little bit of a misnomer there. And also a hypersonic missile, let's just say it went from Russia to the United States, it might take an hour. A ballistic missile launched from a launch pad outside Moscow takes 26 minutes and 40 seconds to get to Washington, D.C. That number's not going to change. That's gravity. That's physics. That's what it was in 1958, 59, and that's what it is today.
But isn't the new technology that it can alter its course?
Yes, but so if you go with that logic and you say, well, it can move around, so it would be harder to shoot down.
Right.
As I explain in the book, and again, as was relayed to me by defense officials, we can't shoot down ballistic missiles, long-range ballistic missiles, with any kind of certainty or accuracy.
It's not like the Iron Dome or anything like that.
The Iron Dome is almost like terrible for nuclear war, for people to understand how dangerous nuclear war is, because the Iron Dome can shoot down short-range missiles and mid-range missiles. So even the U.S. Aegis systems out on the sea, the Navy systems, shot down some of those Iranian drones. But they can't shoot down ballistic missiles. You want like the 5-minute or the 30-second ballistic missile lesson, because this is what I need. I write for the layman, I think part of the reason why nuclear war is not spoken about in the general public is because it's set up to be intimidating. You'll hear a lot of defense people and analysts using very esoteric language, and it kind of excludes the average Joe or Jane, Joe or Annie. So I ask really basic questions like, how does a ballistic missile work? And it's very simple. That 26 minutes and 40 seconds I told you about. So there's 3 phases of a ballistic missile. It launches, it has boost phase. First 5 minutes, imagine a rocket. You've seen launches. That fire coming out the bottom. That boosts the rocket for 5 minutes. That's when it's detectable from space. Then it enters mid-course phase, which is going to be 20 minutes, arcing across the globe to its target. That is the only place where the interceptor missile can get it, if it can. And it's 500 miles up. And it's traveling at something like Mach 23, 14,000 miles an hour. Okay, so that's 20 minutes. And then the last phase is called terminal phase, appropriately so. 100 seconds. When the warhead, the nuclear warhead, re-enters the atmosphere, boom, explodes over its target. The interceptor system is designed to take out the missile in mid-course phase. So we have 44 interceptors. Remember I told you we have 1,700, let's say, nuclear missiles on ready for launch status. Russia has about the same. We have 44 interceptor missiles. How are 44 interceptor missiles going to go up against more than 1,000 Russian nuclear weapons coming at us? Never mind the fact that each interceptor has a 50% shoot-down rate. And that's by the Missile Defense Agency's spokesperson. So there's this perception that we have a system like the Iron Dome that could take out these incoming missiles, and we simply don't. Which is why when nuclear war begins, it only ends in nuclear Armageddon.
Jesus. Whew. How disturbing was it for you to write this? Just do all this research and to come to these conclusions and realize that we're in a lot worse shape than anybody thinks we are.
I mean, you take when you're reporting or writing, you kind of take your hat off of the emotional or the sentimental part of things where the mother in me, you can't think like that. You just have to tell the story, I believe. I also believe that if I can be as factual and dramatic as possible, then I will have the most readers, which is the point. I am actually not trying to save the world as a journalist. I'm trying to get you to read what I write because I found it super interesting reporting it and learning about it. And also, the whole process for me that I think is the most interesting is going to some of these people who are truly some of the smartest scientists in the world and getting them to explain it in the most basic. Like I say, you have to tell it to me like I'm a kid because I don't have a science mind. And that part is, so that excitement part of it balances out with the terror of it. Because I do also understand why most people don't want to know about this. It's too dreadful. But they also don't want to know because they end up feeling sort of looked down upon, I think, if they ask basic questions like, wait a minute, how does a missile work? Or, like you said, what can't the hypersonics, shouldn't we invest in hypersonics? Well, who really wants to be lectured? And so what I try to do is condense the lectures that I receive about how it all works into this dramatic form, which is how I landed on this format for this book, which I think is really effective, which is giving it to you like a scenario. Like, this is what would happen. And then going back to all my sources. I mean, like, okay, here's an example. We haven't even talked about submarines, but the submarines are completely, you cannot find them in the sea. They are stealth beyond stealth. I interviewed the former commander of the nuclear subforces, a guy called Admiral Connor. Never given an interview like this before. And I said, like, how hard is it to find a nuclear-armed sub? And he said, Annie, it's easier to find a grapefruit-sized object in space than a nuclear sub under the sea.
Jesus.
And these things are, by the way, I have a map in the back of the book that shows you how close our adversaries, enemies, call them what you will, China and Russia, how close they come to the East Coast and the West Coast of the United States regularly, which means it reduces that launch time I told you about of 26 minutes, 40 seconds. That reduces it down to sort of 10 minutes or less.
There's a lot going on that's evil. There's good and there's evil and it's real. And there's this weird battle going on with human beings. And I think that battle almost has to take place to motivate people to be better.
You think that's where there's war, cyclical war?
there's no reason why it should exist today. There's no reason why, as educated as we are in history, that we should be willing as a people, as groups of people, to ever invade other places to steal their resources. There's no way we should be doing that. At this point, with the kind of communication that human beings have with each other around the world, there should be a way to reasonably communicate and share goods and ideas and compete and take part in each other's commerce. I sell to you, you sell to me, everybody gets along. This should be totally doable in 2024. The fact that it's not and that no one thinks it's ever going to be is what's terrifying about being a person. Because that's the thing that keeps you up at night. The thing, like, if one of these fucking assholes, one of these greedy cocksuckers that's under the boot of the military-industrial complex decides to push it a little too far, and someone decides to shoot a nuke off, and then we're in this new thing where cities could just disappear. You know, it's not just a September 11th where 2 buildings disappeared and a bunch of people died and it's a horrible tragedy. No, the whole city gone. Boom. One city down. Now, shut the fuck up or we'll bomb all your cities. Now your power doesn't work anymore. Oh no, where do you get your ice? Well, you better go back to the old ways and get a fucking ice pit because you don't have electricity anymore. That's not hard to do. Like, someone could take out our electrical grid pretty fucking easy. And these assholes that are in charge of the world in all countries that are still playing this fucking game of maybe we'll kill you all.
Yeah, it's like a big game of chicken, and there's no, like, when we were kids, I don't know if this happened in your school, but, like, we had drills. We had nuclear war drills. And, like, it was a day-to-day existential worry that people didn't sleep because of nukes. Those same fucking nukes are tenfold today in terms of the arsenals.
And way more people have them.
Way more countries have them, and there's way more. When you look at what's going on in the Middle East, like, that is a fucking... That is going to explode at some point, and it's going to happen fast because there's all these alliances where if one country does it, 8 others are going to do it the same day.
Peter Thiel was talking about that it's the ultimate dilemma when it comes to nuclear power, because nuclear power is more efficient than other power, and it's actually greener. It's probably safer for the environment, especially with the kind of nuclear reactors they're capable of building and designing today. But they didn't realize that if you give someone nuclear power, it's really easy to turn that into nuclear weapons. They thought it was a lot harder than it was, and they did it for India. And he was saying then they realized, like, India got the nuclear weapon. And it's like, oh. Okay, so now we can't just give everybody nuclear power, because then you have everybody has nuclear weapons. And what if it's some fucking warlord who's on amphetamines in the middle of the Congo and he decides he's going to nuke his neighbor?
Yeah.
You know, people can get crazy.
Yeah.
Especially if they have a lot of money. You know, they're selling drugs, they're kidnapping people, whatever they're doing. They got a lot of money, and now they have a nuclear weapon.
North Korea, man. Once North Korea has it, it's a fucking...
They have it.
Do they?
Yes, North Korea has nukes.
No shit.
Yes. Yeah,
they don't
nukes.
have the long-range delivery systems
They
yet.
say they do now.
Yeah.
Who knows? But there was a famous nuclear bomb that went off that they kind of denied in North Korea a while back. What was that? They think it might have been an accident. It's hard to tell, you know, because North Korea is pretty tight with their propaganda. But I remember there was some nuclear detonation was detected in the mountains, and they were trying to figure out if it was on purpose or if it was a underground thing, like, because they do underground nukes too, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Just may trigger an earthquake, but let's find out.
Yeah.
Let's just detonate a nuke a mile under the surface of the earth. Fucking psychopaths.
Well, we did it in Oklahoma in I guess it was like maybe the 50s or 60s. And they didn't tell people to leave the neighboring towns, and there's all these people. The cancer rates were through the roof.
Here it says, comprehensive test ban treaty has been detected seismic activity in more than 24 stations around the world, confirming that man-made explosions have occurred near North Korea's nuclear testing sites. For example, in 2016, the CTBTO detected a 4.85 magnitude seismic event, which North Korea claimed was a hydrogen bomb test. In 2013, the CTBTO detected a 4.9 magnitude seismic event, which is about twice as large as the 2006 test. So they just keep making them more powerful.
Well, what magnitude was like Hiroshima?
Oh, look at this one. In 2024, South Korea's weather agency estimated that a nuclear weapon blast yield was between 50 and 60 kilotons based on a magnitude 5.6 detection. The South Korea's government initial estimate was 100 kilotons, and the NORSAR Seismology Center estimate was 120 kilotons. It's so crazy that a nut, a crazy person, just some fucking maniac dictator has that. Like you could take, oh, you fuck my cousin, guess what? It's like, I'm gonna nuke your town.
Or they want a legacy.
Hiroshima was only about 15 kilotons.
Nagasaki.
So 4 times the
Nagasaki was
size.
25. Holy shit. Isn't it funny that Hiroshima gets all the credit, but meanwhile they got the bitch ass bomb?
That's right. One was an atomic and one was a hydrogen, right?
I don't know. Is that the truth?
I think so. The little boy.
Is that the big one? Is that the one that was on Hiroshima? So Little Boy was Hiroshima and Fat Man was Nagasaki. Wow. Imagine you get your instructions. You're a fighter pilot, and that's what they tell you.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to do today?
Right.
What are we doing? You're going to be the guy. What do you mean? You're going to be the guy that drops the bomb.
Yeah.
What bomb? We have a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Like, what does this thing do? Well, you're going to drop it, and then you got to get the fuck out of there.
Right.
Because the
and
explosion...
don't look back because it'll rip your eyeballs out.
Explosion
That might be
might-
my tea mug that you just grabbed.
Oh, is that it?
I think
I'm
so.
sorry. I just poured coffee in it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm done with it.
I thought it was my
I'm on to
coffee.
coffee now.
There's too many mugs. I got confused. I was not seeing my mug because the microphone was like perfectly shielding it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that must be my mug.
There's a great series on Netflix right now about the Cold War. It's like three episodes, but it goes through, just the espionage that went behind it all, and how the nuclear codes got to Russia because it was the couple, the Rosenbergs.
Yes.
And there was a few people that basically got the information to Russia, and then once that happened, like everything fucking changed. Like after World War II, basically in World War II, we bombed Japan not because they weren't going to surrender. There was this is what this documentary talks about, that there was an end in sight, that they were crawling, they were on their knees, but Russia had sent forces into Japan as our allies to help finish the war. We didn't want them getting any of the credit, so we bombed while Japan was en route. While Russia was en route, we bombed Japan.
Whoa.
So once we did that, Russia was like, "Oh, it's on. Fuck them. We need," and they basically just they realigned their whole military, their whole budget. Everything was about getting nukes after that happened. Those bombs didn't need to be dropped.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
How complicated is that, too? Because if they don't drop those bombs, we know the bombs exist and no one's dropped them. Do you think it would have been worse if the world didn't see the horrors?
You're probably right.
Because as they keep getting better and no one's dropped one on anybody yet, and everyone's talking shit, I'll fucking do it, man. I'll be the first guy. I'll be the first. If Hitler had a nuke, you don't think he would have launched it?
Right.
100%. 100%. He's cranked up on all kinds of fucking drugs. They were shooting animal hormones into him. They were experimenting on him.
Oh, that's
That's
right.
this
I
book.
heard about that. Yeah.
This book, Norman Ohler. I've sold your book so many times. It's a crazy story.
Yeah.
When he was in here explaining it all. Hitler had this one doctor that he trusted.
Yeah.
He didn't trust the SS doctor because there was a lot of people wanted to get rid of Hitler. There was a lot of attempts on his life. And this motherfucker had one doctor that was giving him all the goods.
Yeah.
And he was just out of his mind.
Fuck.
If you gave that guy a nuke at that time,
Yeah.
100% he's nuking somebody.
Of course.
100%.
What wouldn't he do? Like, what was he not
Exactly.
capable of?
Exactly.
And I think the same thing is true of Kim Jong Un right now. I don't think
He was friends with Trump. Trump went over, shook his hand.
That's
They were
right.
pals.
Yeah.
Seems like he just needed a friend. He's friends with Dennis Rodman. Maybe Dennis Rodman can be the official envoy. Maybe if Trump wins, Dennis Rodman becomes the official envoy, and we fucking settle things out. Smooth
Imagine
things
that.
over.
Imagine if that was how it all worked out.
Yeah, smooth things over.
Yeah.
Give the people electricity.
Dude, it's so mysterious when you hear about people that escaped from North Korea and they talk about how you literally it's the thought police. You
I
say
just sent Jamie something. It's so
Oh, yeah?
funny that we're talking about this. I sent
Yeah.
Jamie something this morning that I saw where this guy has one of those crazy satellite dishes in his backyard,
Uh-huh.
and he picks up a channel from North Korea. So it's a guy in Ontario, and I sent it to you on a text message?
Yeah, but that's not what you sent me. So the wrong link got copied.
No way.
You sent me the football video.
stepsister.
But then I sent you something before that.
No.
I didn't?
No,
Oh
I
my
didn't.
God, I didn't. You moron. What did I do? Did I save it? God, I thought I sent it to you. I must have accidentally sent it to
What is
somebody
it called?
else.
The North Korean guy that picks up satellites.
Yes, it's Ontario man picks up North Korean television. Fuck, I thought I sent it to you.
Fuck.
But he'll find it because it's becoming viral now because it's really nuts. You see the propaganda. So this guy just tunes in to this broadcast of North Korea because he's got one of them. Remember when people had those? This the guy. They had those crazy dishes like that thing in their backyard.
Yeah.
I remember a guy had that. I thought that guy was a wizard. Like, look at him. He's getting TV from Ireland. He's watching snooker on the BBC. So this dude tunes in to the North Korean broadcast, like whatever it is that they broadcast through North Korea, and it's all propaganda. And Kim Jong-un is like literally people fall down like he's the Beatles. Like when he shows up.
He shot a round of golf. He shot a 27
No, that was
in
his
18
dad.
holes.
That was
Oh,
his
that
dad.
father.
Look how people freak out when they see him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he shot like 9 holes in one, right?
Yeah. But also, if you don't react like that, the police see you.
Oh, yeah.
And they put you in a fucking gulag and they,
Yeah.
for like 5 years.
Yeah, you're fucked. You better cheer. Yeah, the power that he has is just absolute.
And then if they find out that, you have a relative overseas that's bad-mouthing North Korea, your family gets
Yeah.
put into a fucking camp.
Yeah, yeah. And not only that, it's a generation after generation thing. Like the children, if you have children in the camp, they're punished as well. Yeah. It's terrible.
Shit.
Yeah.
It's so
But he
mysterious,
likes
too.
basketball.
He does?
Maybe Dennis Rodman can
Dennis
choose it all over.
Rodman, yeah. If I had to pick one eloquent NBA star, it would
Dennis
be Dennis
Rodman,
Rodman.
send him over there with like a bowling bag filled with mushrooms.
Uh-huh.
And just those two get together,
Yeah.
meet God. Just like he'd fix this thing.
He'd
could
take
fix
that
it.
nuke like it was a fucking 3-point shot. He'd just reach up, stop it.
Well, what he's got to do before anything in that country is let those people be free. Like that is literally like a cult. It's like a cult. Like the power that one guy has and that government has over their people. Have you ever seen Yeonmi Park talk about her experiences in North Korea?
No.
She
Oh, was she on here?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I did
she
see that.
escaped North
Yep.
Korea when she was 13.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Dude, and it's going into China. Like China uses, I don't want to say which supermarket chain because I don't want to malign somebody, but one of the major supermarket chains, they have meat processing plants where China brings in North Korean slaves. They are kept in barracks with barbed wire fences, and they work for 12, 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they get paid like $100 a month. And then they come back to China. They come back to North Korea after like 4 or 5 years, and their families get this little fucking tidbit of money, but they don't have a choice because North Korea picks what they think are the best examples of what North Korea is because they want to look good to China, and they send those people over, and they're worked as slaves for years, and the American companies are buying food from these plants in China.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there's an article in the New Yorker about it.